All I had to do was remove that one Phillips screw and the top pulled right out. So now I can put this up on the workbench, put some padding underneath it so it doesn't get damaged, and I can plug these right into the set. So these two go into the sockets on top of the chassis. This plugs into the high voltage cage. This I'm not sure about. Oh wait, I know where this goes now. This is the cathode for the picture tube. This is the actual video signal. I just remember that there's a separate metal terminal sticking up on the circuit board. I guess they wanted to isolate this signal from running through these cables to reduce interference. I've got the picture tube up on the workbench now, and I've plugged in the CRT plug, the yoke plug, high voltage lead that goes down into the high voltage rectifier socket, and here's that one stray wire I was puzzled about, and that goes on this board here. That's for the video signal. Reconnected horizontal output tube. Got the rectifier hooked up. Alright, here we go. Alright, tubes are lighting up. So we've got continuity through the picture tube filament now. Don't smell any smoke, everything looks to be okay. Still have sound, and hey, starting to see a trace. No vertical though. See if this is brightness. Yeah, it's brightness. I'm going to keep that down so I don't burn a line. It seems to be modulated too. I can see flickers of light, so the set is probably, the video is going all the way through to the picture tube. Now I've heard vertical was the biggest pain in these sets. I'm trying the controls here. Let's see. There's the diagram, I think. And brightness, vertical hold, height. So the middle one is hold and height. So, alright, well, could be a few things. Turn this set off. It could be the yoke. It could be the vertical output transformer. It could be the vertical oscillator. Now the couplet I was concerned about, this guy with the integrator, that won't affect this. That just has to do with picking incoming sync pulses off like a broadcast signal. The local oscillator, if it was running, should produce vertical deflection regardless of that integrator working or not. So I need to look elsewhere. So first I will check the resistance on the vertical yoke windings. I'll check the vertical output transformer again. I'm pretty sure I checked it before, but something else may have gone wrong. And then I'll start working back from there. Check the vertical output tube, vertical oscillator, and associated circuits. But hey, this is promising. So we got high voltage. I didn't smell any ozone. I didn't see any corona down in here, so that's good. Still haven't recoated that flyback, but I figured the coating was good enough that it would work for now. And horizontal output tube seemed to be just fine. And I mean horizontal deflection, of course, so it could be close. I think I might be onto something. Here's a vertical output transformer, T1. Now I checked the secondary side. I've got about 2.5 ohms. That's fine. Right now I'm checking the primary side. It's the red and blue there. It should be 430 ohms. I'm measuring 396, but that's pretty close. Certainly not open. Now that is driven by the plate pin 1 of the 10DE7 tube. The other side goes to the 280 volt bus. Alright, so I'm checking the resistance right in the transformer down here. Now I'll flip this down and let's check what we get on pin 1 of that tube. Should be the same reading, 396. I've also got this resistance chart here, and they show for the 10DE7 430 ohms with a little footnote indicator, and if you go down it says measured from 280 volt source. Alright, so I'm going to clip one side of my meter onto the 280 volt source and flip this down and check the resistance to pin 1 on the other side. Here's that 10DE7 tube. I've plugged it into an extender socket so I can check the pins more easily. Here's pin 1, put my probe on it, and what do I have? Infinite. So I suspect that there's a problem in the socket, there's a problem in the board, or I simply made a mistake when I hooked these wires back up. Well, I found the problem pretty quickly. It's another broken pin. So I'll try to glob a little solder on there, bridge the break, and pop the tube back in, and yeah, there's no question now I'm going to have to take this board back out, and I think I just might replace all these 9-pin tube sockets. I don't know. I swear I checked this one after I found this break and it looked okay, so now I'm starting to wonder, am I snapping these as I'm taking tubes in and out? I've been trying to be very gentle, but I've heard these are really bad tube sockets, and it sure does seem to be the case. Alright, I tried to solder that pin back on. I'm not entirely sure I made good contact. We'll see. But at least now I know what the problem is. And I'll turn the brightness down because I was worried about burning the screen. Turning it up now. Damn. I'll try wiggling this stupid tube. Oh, there we go. There we go. Alright, so every adjustment's horribly off. Just in the fine tuning right now. Alright, I'm going to hook up a stronger signal source and then try making all these adjustments. Got a whole bunch on here. Usual horizontal and vertical hold, width, vertical linearity, vertical height, and so on. Hey, it's looking good. I fired up my B&K 1077B. Let's see, I got on channel 3. Our output's cranked up all the way. Hooked up to the antenna terminals. So let's see, 3, 1, 2. Alright, it's a complete mess. Just in fine tuning right now. Not too bad. Of course, the linearity and the size and everything is all a mess. Centering's off too. Centering is controlled on the back of the CRT from what I've read. So some mechanical magnetic rings that you can adjust. As far as everything else, it's all with these controls here. 3 on the outside, and then there's down on the inside there's another one. Gotta use this tool like this. There's brightness on the outside and linearity on the inside. So, see if I adjust that. There we go. Much better linearity. And, oh boy, horizontal. But the whole picture's kind of a weird mess. Sort of keystone, bad horizontal linearity. It's kind of all pushed over to that side. Here it is hooked up to an over-the-air receiver. Still needs some help, but we're getting there. It's cut off on the bottom, it's cut off on the left. And this tuner's pretty messed up. I've got to have the fine tuning all the way over where I don't get any sound. And if I try using channel 4, switching the converter box over, I can't get any sound at all. And for a lot of the fine tuning range, I don't even get a picture. So I think okay, I get sound at the opposite extreme end. So I imagine the individual channel oscillator slugs here need to be adjusted. I'm also pretty sure the set needs an alignment because the contrast isn't so hot. In other words, I'm not getting a really strong video signal through this set, I don't think. But, not bad. Not bad, all things considered.
Shooter has stolen Polaris, the North Star. Finally, it will point to something really important. My new secret hideout.
Correct me if I'm wrong, which I never am.
See what else is on.
Blockbuster at home.
The picture's not really crisp.
Big Rat Ditty, featuring Edith Bunker.
Alright, so I next am going to, well, I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to pop out that board and replace those two tube sockets. And I've got to deal with that power switch. And of course, got to do an alignment and adjust those oscillator coils and so on. Oh, and I also want to go through the service info and see what kind of notes they have for making all these fine adjustments. Like I know there's a buzz control there. It's horizontal oscillator frequency. And over here there's a horizontal lock range and so on. Probably need to be tweaked a little bit. That's a width control. And then try centering too, because the whole thing needs to be moved over a bit to the left and a bit down. And the horizontal linearity is not so hot either. Well, that's going to be it for today.